Welcome to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. I'm Scott Jordan, and if you've ever been to a Monster Jam event, chances are you've seen the high-flying superstars of US FMX soaring across stadiums and arenas all over the world. And today we are going to dive into the world of freestyle motocross. To do that, we're going to bring in one of the biggest stars in freestyle motocross. We go to the Zenny Optical Hotline to welcome in Hollywood stuntman extraordinaire in Orlando, TJ Tiffany. TJ, welcome to Inside Monster Jam. Thanks for being here.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Definitely excited to be here.
It's going great, man. You and I have had a great friendship. We've known each other since I started back in Monster Jam 8 years ago. Been up and down the road together, and I've always wanted to do an episode of this show on freestyle motocross to introduce our fans to that side of the world, get a little behind-the-scenes information. So let's start by introducing the fans to you. You are, as I said, one of the biggest stars in freestyle motocross. Fans can see you right now on Arena Championship Series Central, but I want to go back to the beginning. When did little TJ Tiffany first get on a bike?
Oh man, it's been a long journey getting into the Monster Jam world. I actually got my first dirt bike. My dad bought me a bike back in 2000, and it was a trail bike. Got into riding, and from there I kind of adapted into it. Wanted to get out to the tracks and get more into the motocross world, and we started racing the Florida Series and Florida races, and from there kind of moved into the more amateur stuff around the country, and went to Loretta Lynn's a bunch of times and turned pro from there. Got a first opportunity to go jump ramps in Japan back in 2009, and from there the door opened up to go get a job and go start jumping ramps for Monster Jam a couple years after that. And I think my first one was in Mexico City, and yeah, it was great. We from there I haven't looked back.
So some of our Monster Jam fans may not know the historical value of Loretta Lynn's, but that is a huge part of any aspiring rider, correct? And you can explain a little bit about what happens at the Loretta Lynn, please.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of regional qualifiers and around the whole country, and you get qualified, and it's the top 40 riders of the country in your age bracket or your riding category. And from there, it's like the pristine, everybody wants to get there and up from there in the pro world and everything for motocross.
So when kids ride, obviously a lot of the big aspirations are to be on TV, be the Eli Tomac's, be the Ken Roxons of the world, be in Supercross. I don't know that a lot of fans realize that there are so many other platforms and avenues that you can take this. When did freestyle motocross become something that was on your radar?
Well, I turned pro in 06, and from there I raced Supercross and outdoor nationals for a couple of years. And from there, I got an opportunity to jump ramps. I actually jumped first ramp I jumped was over at Tom Parsons' house, and he's a huge whip champion now for gold medalists and everything. But from there, that was kind of the turning point. I had a lot of fun jumping ramps, and I got the thing to go to Japan. And from there, Monster Jam opened the door, and it was, I have so much joy riding dirt bikes. There's nothing better. It's a great family sport, and I was always looking for an opportunity to continue that into a career. And the path that kind of I fell into was with Monster Jam and freestyle motocross.
When you first heard about Monster Jam, did you think that was something that was going to be on your radar at any point in time? Because when you think of Monster Jam, you think of these huge 12,000-pound Monster Jam trucks. I know when I first got in the business, I never had that on my bingo card, and now I love every minute of it. But when Monster Jam came on your radar, were you like, hey, this is something that could lead to something really special for me?
Oh man, I definitely was the kid since I could start walking that I can remember going to Monster Jams here in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl, what it was called back then, and we'd go tailgate and get ready and go to the show, and then see the dirt bikes out there. A long time ago, there were dirt bikes in Monster Jam way back when, and I always thought, man, that'd be so cool to ride in front of such a big crowd. And from there, the way that everything kind of fell together, I never saw how it would work out or how the cards would fall into place for me to be here, but I definitely wouldn't change a thing. I love every bit of it. And the Monster Jam family, getting to travel the world on an international tour and all across the country, a new city every weekend, it's definitely a dream come true.
So were you introduced directly to Monster Jam, or was this something, because your team, when we go to the Monster Jam events, or your US FMX, that's how we introduce you. Were you introduced to this team at first, or did Monster Jam recruit you and then you ended up as part of this group?
I was introduced to Monster Jam through the team, basically, like with USFMX and John Sigismundi and he basically sought us all out and got us all together. And from there, it's just there's been no turning back. The sky's the limit.
I love that you still reference Camping World Stadium as a Citrus Bowl, because I'm one of those guys. I'm an Orlando guy, and that's where UCF used to play when I was in college. We didn't have this big Bright House stadium. We went to the Citrus Bowl. We camped out. Right, ironically enough, we camped out and tailgated right where the pit party is now for the Monster Jam event. So it's always a full circle moment going back there. And we have many moments to get to you in your career. Coming up next, more with TJ Tiffany as we continue on with Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. We are back with more Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, as we chat about freestyle motocross. My guest this week is rider TJ Tiffany. So we got to know you, TJ, last segment. Now I want to get more to a day in the life of a freestyle motocross rider in Monster Jam. Let's talk about the partnership as well. USFMX, Monster Jam have been intertwined with each other for well over a decade. I think you've been a part of it for almost 15 years now. Why are these two entities and these two super conglomerates, why is it such a good fit?
I mean, when you go to a monster truck show, there's nothing better than having some dirt bikes there. Like I think it goes hand in hand, and USFMX and Monster Jam and Feld and everything coming together to have dirt bikes at each one of these events, and especially the arena shows. It's quite it goes well together for sure.
Let's also talk about your schedule, because you were on the same schedule as anybody else in the sport. So you and I talked briefly off air about the toll of being on an arena tour. Right now, as I mentioned, you're on Arena Championship Series Central, but talk a little bit about what your schedule is and what you do when you get to the arenas and how much practice time you get and how all of that unfolds, because I want to talk to all the kids out there that want to be freestyle motocross riders, that want to be where you're at, and what they can expect if it happens.
Yeah, so when we get home, we're practicing on and off the bike as much as any professional athlete, if not more. And when we get to the shows, we get to the event or the arena on Friday mornings, and we unload the trailer, get all the ramps set up. We usually practice before the trucks get to practice, so we got a fresh floor, and we get to kind of get in there early, get everything going, and as soon as we're allowed to start jumping, we get after it. We usually get about 30 minutes of actual practice time, maybe more if we need it, if circumstances or we need to move some stuff around or whatever, depending on the arena. Sometimes arenas are a little bit tighter in ways and we got to figure stuff out. We get done with that, get the ramps rolled up, find their places to get ready for the first show. And from there, it's just exploring the cities and being prepared, getting ready for pit party, and getting making the most of each and every weekend with the Monster Jam.
You guys are placed, I think, perfectly in an event, because you bring everybody in from halftime. So we send everybody for halftime. We do some cool stuff down on the track, but then we come right back with you guys. So you get everybody back into the arenas, and then we go back into Monster Jam. So I think it's a perfect way to bring fans back in, because they've seen two competitions with Monster Jam in the arenas. Now they get to see you guys. But we know that it's taxing to put the ramp up, and there's a little more to it than just getting on the bike and riding. How much of your time on the track is really spent getting that ramp up? And if you had a contest where somebody said, hey, can you get this thing up in 5 minutes or less, could you do it?
Oh man, I think that our new way this year, we got a couple extra setups and things going on where we're blowing up the bag and getting everything set up quicker. As far as like I was saying, each arena is different, but I getting it set up is definitely a feat to get it done before we hop on our bikes, and then it's game time on the bikes and hearing the crowd and everybody cheering us on. Like, I mean, most of these shows we go to, the crowd is louder than our bikes, and there's not a feeling that can describe how amazing that is and how awesome it is to get to ride dirt bikes and have that many screaming fans cheering us on. It's so motivating and encouraging and exciting. It's awesome.
I love being able to announce you guys when I do the live events, because for me, it takes me gives me a little taste of going back to Supercross, which I did in 2019. So I love having that aspect, and I think it's amazing what you guys do and the athleticism that it takes. I do want to talk about the best trick competition, because if fans do come and see you guys come out, you do a sort of a practice round, get everybody up, and then you do the train, and then it's the best trick competition. So how much of this is competitive? I know you guys are friends, and I know that everybody is a team, but how much of this is I really want to show these fans something they haven't seen, and I really do want to win this?
It's 100% competitive. Like we all want to get out there. We want to, obviously everybody wants to be better and do better. And I think peer pressure in the freestyle motocross world is a wonderful thing. We were out there even on the pod right before our best trick goes. Like no one will tell each other what trick we're going to do, so we can see who comes out on top. And everybody definitely wants to help each other out as far as learning new tricks and bettering themselves and being more comfortable, or figure something out like at the show. If there's something that somebody doesn't like so much with the ramp setup or whatnot, we can always adjust it. But everybody's definitely, it's everybody keeps it all a secret, and we try to come out on top each weekend, and everybody wants to get some microphone time in front of the crowd, and it's very exciting.
You ever had one you wish you could take back on the best trick competition where it just didn't quite work out for you?
Oh yeah, there's definitely some. I just want to like ride off into the pits so no one sees me again, and just hide back there. And it's always a good laugh for sure.
There's no hiding in freestyle motocross. And coming up next, we're going to tell you about how TJ is now a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan. My guest this week is TJ Tiffany as we chat all things freestyle motocross. TJ, before we get to your budding Hollywood film career, I do want to talk about your setup in Orlando, because you and I live in the same city. I've seen videos of this incredible practice track you have in your backyard. And if a fan was driving by your neighborhood in Orlando, what might they see any given day?
I mean, they'd probably see me flying over my house. Pretty cool situation I've got going over here. We're like just outside of the city limit, and all my neighbors and everybody, they love me, and they really kind of back me on everything, and they come over. I've got a huge fan base here that will show up after school if I'm riding when the kids let out. We got a school right down the road, and the fence will be lined up with kids in all directions, and everybody really kind of, they don't mind me riding, which I really got to cherish that. I don't want to upset anybody in the area, but the Facebook community group and all that stuff, they all have just great things to say about me. I've probably handed out 500 hats and posters and stuff to all the kids around here. And
I don't know if you want to move out of that neighborhood. You got something good, it sounds like.
No, not at all. I'm definitely not moving out for a little while. We actually just built a house next door to my old house, so we're here for the long haul for sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine going to that first HOA meeting and being like, "Hi, I'm TJ. I'm going to be riding my motorcycle in my backyard all the time." Sorry.
It's what's so great about it is we are not in a subdivision where my house is. We have like a little plot of land, but in all four sides there's an HOA. So it's pretty ironic that I'm actually allowed to do what I can, and I'm not a part of their groups.
That's amazing, man. So when you're not riding in Monster Jam, you have basically a full-on other career that I think any other kid or even myself would dream about. I'm very jealous, but you are a Hollywood stunt rider, and you sent me your list of credits in TV and film. I was blown away. So for our fans, list some of your bigger credits that you've done as far as riding and TV and film.
Yeah, well, I definitely got my start with my first show that I worked on for stunts was a show called Eastbound and Down on HBO, and I doubled the character Stevie Janowski on that, actually riding a dirt bike. And from there, I mean, I worked on movies like Avengers Endgame, the last two, Bad Boys. I worked on a bunch of Prime TV shows, Netflix shows, Outer Banks TV show. I've got a bunch of movies coming out here soon, and that I've been working on and got the pleasure of doing a bunch of stunts on, and it's amazing.
I am a huge Marvel fan. I've made no bones about that. I'm a diehard Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. I love the comic books. I grew up on it, and you are a part of this universe as a writer. So you mentioned Avengers Endgame, but also Captain America: Brave New World, right? And I don't want I don't want you to be shy about this. You've been invited to the premiere, man. That is a huge deal.
Yeah, actually, I'm leaving tonight to head out to the premiere, and my buddies and I, some kids I grew up riding dirt bikes with, we actually all got into stunts together, and we all crashed some motorcycles on the new Captain America, and I'm really excited for it to come out. It's some pretty awesome, real high speed crashes that we were doing, and it should be pretty wild.
And you've done Stranger Things as well, one of the most popular shows of all time. What was your experience like on that set?
Oh, it's amazing. Stranger Things is pretty wild. I got to do some pretty awesome stunts on that, flying through the rooms, getting slammed into walls, crashing through stuff. driving trucks, driving Hummers, all kinds of things. And there's never like a stunt day that's better than the last. Like each day is amazing, and it's always fun to be in front of the camera doing what I love.
Outer Banks, another show that's been making a lot of waves. You and I talked a little bit about your experience there, but that's a big deal because that show is very popular. It's very current. Are you still working on that right now?
No, actually, we're wrapped up on that for the most recent season. Honestly, if I got to pick like some of the best days to ever have on stunts on set was the most recent Outer Banks. We got to do the motorcycle race at the beginning on the first episode, and me and some of my best buds got to ride dirt bikes for 2 weeks straight out on the beach up in North Carolina, and that was like a dream come true. We had so much fun every day and got to crash and race dirt bikes and through the sand on the beach and through the water. It was amazing.
So that's not a bad gig if you can get it. Let's talk about Eastbound and Down. How did that opportunity come available to you?
So I actually got a job back in 2011 at Disney World at the Lights Motors Action Stunt Show, and I did all the dirt bike scenes in that live show. And a lot of the guys there at the show would leave the show and go do stunt work on the side or whenever we would get it. And there was an opportunity that came through there that they needed somebody my size to ride a dirt bike on Eastbound and Down. And they were like, send TJ, he's perfect for it. And man, since there, it's just, I haven't looked back. It's been one great opportunity after another, and I've cherished every bit of it.
Now, is that something that you have an agent for that books you with these things?
No, not really. It's all kind of word of mouth and who you know, and just trying to do your best each and every time you're there and try to make the most of it.
I think you're underplaying this, man. You're in Captain America, okay? The phone rings, somebody's on the other line. Hey, TJ, we have a new Captain America movie coming out. Would you like to be a part of the MCU again? I mean, that's what did you do on Avengers Endgame? Because it's not your first rodeo with Marvel.
No. On Avengers, I actually got to be a whole bunch of different characters. I would actually get there in the morning and get makeup from head to toe, like full prosthetics and everything. Avengers Endgame was pretty wild. I actually got to play a bunch of different characters, be one of Thor's Guardian guys, and be one of the Space Cowboys. I was definitely one of the Ravagers a bunch of times. I think I was like 4 or 5 different aliens on that, and those were some fun days, running around shooting guns, big alien guns falling on my face, getting shot, tumbling around it. Those were that was probably the biggest movie leading up to that point that I had been on, and it was just insane. The everything that goes on behind the scenes to build the sets, it was wild.
Is there any celebrity that you've met, actor that you've worked with that exceeded your expectations, that was nicer than you could ever possibly imagine?
Man, most of the time, everybody is so much cooler than you would ever imagine. And I don't know if it's there because we're there doing stunts and we're a part of like the production and everything going on. But almost every single celebrity that I've met on set or got the chance to double is like over the top awesome and just fun to be around and chit chat with and just have a great time there.
Well, let's go the opposite end of that spectrum. If I ask you who the nice ones are, I got to ask you who some of the not so nice ones. Was there ever somebody that you were on set with that you're like, good Lord, man, I can't, this dude, nothing at all. I can't be over there.
I can't tell you that.
Oh, come on, man.
No, there's definitely like in the stunt world, there's days that are awesome. And then there's days that aren't so awesome. And mostly that just comes down to like what stunt you're doing and whatnot. But everybody on set, like, if it's somebody that's not very nice, I just try to shy away and stick to do my own program and stay away from that.
So what's next for you in the Monster Jam world and the movie world? What do you got going on?
Well, actually, I've got a few shows coming up here soon that I did some stunts on. There's The Hunting Wives is a show that's coming out. There's The Waterfront, another show. Captain America's coming out soon, and then there's Rivals of the Messiah King. That was actually some pretty wild stuff I got to do on that one. But it's in the stunt world, I kind of play it by ear. Whenever the phone rings, I got to jump on it. And then aside from that, though, I'm deep diving into the Monster Jam world, and we got a lot of awesome stuff coming up. And then I think the fans are really going to love. And along with each and every weekend on this Central Tour and the tours across the country.
Well, we got to get to break, man. We're going to see you on the Central Tour coming up. TJ takes a hot seat on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. We are back with more Inside Monster Jam powered by Lucas Oil with TJ Tiffany. We chatted about freestyle motocross. The clip we just saw, it was TJ flipping over his roommate and teammate Jared LaRue in a hotel. You guys have shenanigans up and down the road, so I thought it was only fitting that I allowed Jared to be a part of this show. So in lieu of fan questions, I asked Jared to submit some questions. So let's see what Mr. LaRue wants to ask to you.
Hey TJ, me and some of the fans got a couple questions. Let me pull out your file real quick. See what we got here. All right. One of the questions that we have here, pretty big on the list, is we noticed that, being big into fashion like you are, what's the method when you went from a tucked in jersey, nice, clean looking, to the untucked jersey? What was the method behind that?
Oh man, Jared, I'm really happy you asked this question, man. And the fans and all that, I been just trying to come up with the words here how to answer this question, but I just think that it goes together with my my whole look and everything that I've got going on. I think the untucked shirt just really goes well with the freestyle look. And it's freestyle. It's everybody's own style. It's how you want to be and how you want things to look. And maybe that'll help me get judged differently with the crowd or whatever. That's what I was going for.
You can freestyle your shirt. Let's go to question number 2.
Based on the fact that your rise through your FMX career, a lot of the fans, you notice that you've gotten, really big in movies and so on and so forth. And we were curious, on your recent film about Outer Banks, was the character Meatball designed after the producers actually saw you in person?
Oh man, I see where Jared's going with all these questions. And we got our jokes on the side about everything, and he's definitely hammering hard on me about it. But yeah, Meatball, I actually showed up and they had me picked out to be this character of Meatball on Outer Banks, and I had a whole wardrobe and cut off jean jacket and a whole look that's pretty hilarious.
Thanks a lot, TJ. Good seeing you, man. That's a wrap on Freestyle Motocross. Next week, join me right here for the 100th episode of Inside Monster Jam powered by Lucas Oil. I'll see you then.